It is Thursday here in Aotearoa, and we are approaching the full moon in Scorpio. So I would like to talk on this. I have been meaning to do the fortnightly moon report, but I didn't do it last week because it got a little bit overwhelming. And I'm still trying to find my rhythm with this platform on how, everything is sequenced and offered, and it's trying to fall into place into my life. And I'm starting to find the rhythm. But yeah, apologies. So last week there was no moon weather report. The full moon in Scorpio is approaching. So first, let's look at the archetype of Scorpio. And then I want to also briefly talk about Uranus entering Gemini, which happened last week. Officially, we have now entered a new era for the next 7 years. And this is obviously going to be quite impactful, but very subtle as it unfolds over a long period of time. Let's begin with Scorpio. So I know a little bit about Scorpio because I have a stellium in Scorpio in my ninth house. So I'm a little bit of a Scorpio energy kind of girl. And let me tell you, Scorpio is really about your depth and your shadows. There is this story in the mythology of Hercules, I don't know how you say it, who defeats the Nidra. I think that's what it's called. It's a beast that has many heads, and every time he cuts the head, it grows more heads. And eventually he realizes that he has to burn the root of the head down to prevent it from growing a second head, or from preventing from growing back. And this is how he ends up defeating it. This is exactly the energy of Scorpio. You cannot address issues superficially with Scorpio energy. You have to get to the bottom of it. You have to go to the root of the issue. What does that look like for a human being? This is like, the situation that you try to brush under the rug, but actually they come back and they are just overwhelmingly disturbing into your physical realm. Like you have those strong emotion that resurface and you have just no other choice but to deal with it. This is it. This is the Scorpio vibe. So with this full moon in Scorpio, full moon is all about bringing to completion. It's about, but remember, moon cycles are very frequent. So we're not talking about huge changes here. It happens every month. You're not going to come to like this sudden, sometimes it might happen, but it's a subtle change. It's a subtle fruiting, a subtle completion. But I guess the invitation of this lunation is to shine a light, a full moon, a bright light onto your shadows. And this is extremely relevant at the moment because we also have a Uranus that's just moved into Gemini. Now, Uranus moving into Gemini collectively is going to be a whole new way of thinking. So Uranus is an innovator. He revolutionizes things. He's the sudden change, the unpredictable change. However, it feels very sudden, but it might have been boiling beneath the surface for a long time. So this is how Uranus operates. Because it's entering Gemini, it's going to revolutionize the way that we understand the world. And actually, on the week that it moved into Gemini, we break a new record. A marathon was run just under 2 hours, which is, it totally redefines what we thought was possible. It just is such a good example of that energy. It's like suddenly your mind realizes, whoa, there was a whole fucking other room there I didn't even know existed and was possible. So Gemini, Uranus going into Gemini for the next 7 years is going to do that for us on a collective level. Now, on an individual level, because we are on the early days of reshaping how we think about ourselves, it's a great time to pair that with the Scorpio full moon, because in order to change how we think, we need to go to the bottom of the feeling and the experiences that are projecting those thoughts. and that are creating those thoughts. So, look, it might be a really overwhelming full moon, to say the least. It is possible that, there's a whole bunch of shit that resurfaces that we have to deal with, but trust the process. And also really be aware and pay attention to the ways in which you are thinking and the feelings that are surfacing with this. Now, so one way that you can look at this change is see it as the appearance and the reappearance of old programmings into your system. The only way that you can outgrow an old program is by noticing that the program is there in the first place and acknowledging the ways in which it is running your life. Noticing and having this awareness is essential. And sometimes the only way that we can bring those things into awareness is by, boosting their grip on you, their expression within yourself. So if you notice feelings in yourself that have been there your entire life, just resurfacing at very specific occasions and driving you in some ways, just go to the bottom of it. This is a great time to wonder, okay, what is this about? Find a practitioner that works. I'm seeing my therapist again next week because I am in the process of diving again deeper into some of those experiences and subconscious projections that are happening at the moment to try and really understand myself further, understand myself deeper. And also see it like that. Scorpio is the roots. It is the darkness of darkness within yourself that if you reach that level of darkness, it is the depth of your roots. And the deeper your roots, the wider your expansion. So it goes both ways. Either you're in a place, because, the good old, up and down, manic and depressive that we all kind of swing through, really. If you notice yourself elevated or in states of kind of manic elevation, it's often because there is a bit of fear in this process of expanding because you're not grounded in some ways. This is why this week in the platform, I've created an emergency grounding workout so that you have a tool if you're in this kind of anxious expansion that is more so not grounded and the expression of fear because of the feeling of expansion that you're going through, then grounding back into your body through exercise is a great way to stay grounded and connected. Another great way to stay grounded is through practical actions. Return to your everyday mundane tasks. Be grounded into this reality and apply your actions in a way that reflect this higher vision that is trying to be birthed through you. Also, and the opposite is true as well. So if you are in a place where you're not actually experiencing the more manic side of things, but more the depressed, kind of really low side of things, then you want to really practice raising your vibration to match this new frequency that Uranus is trying to bring forth while it's transiting through Gemini. So things like at the moment, I really learning to listen to yourself. So that will be vary for different people where you find your joy, but really learn to notice when joy is calling within you and act upon it. And this could be as simple as playing your favorite song in the morning and dancing to it. It could be as simple. At the moment, I'm biking to work once a week and I'm listening to music while I'm biking and I've got my dog running next to me. And I cannot express how much joy this brings me. It's just next level joy. Raising your frequency through activities that you really deeply enjoy doing is going to help you kind of birth through this darkness or this deep grounding. But remember, it is safe if you are grounded deep in your shadows with awareness, you will be able to expand with way further grounding. Okay, because you've set some roots within yourself. Yeah, so that's my upload, download, whatever you want to call it, for this full moon. See you in 2 weeks.